Governor, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
In your new book, it's called No Going Back. You include a story about shooting your dog, despite your team telling you not to put that in the book. I have to say the decision didn't go down well. To include the story about the dog, it's not gone down well. Many people are questioning your political future.
Well, I don't think you have the facts straight. This was a vicious, dangerous dog that was a working dog. And I had to make a choice between the safety of my children and an animal that was killing livestock and attacking people. So it's included because a lot of politicians run from the truth.
Was it a puppy?
They try to hide from tough decisions. It was a very hard decision for me. It was 20 years ago.
Was it a puppy?
No, it was an adult working dog. It was an adult working dog that was attacking livestock.
14 months old?
And killing livestock.
The dog was 14 months old?
It was a year and a half old, the dog was, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you think it was good politics to include that story?
That has been a story that's been out there for years, Stuart. My political opponents have used it for years, so I want people to know the truth on it.
Do you still think you
what
could
this
be
book is about?
Could you be the vice president of Donald Trump?
I tell you, the only person who decides that is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the only person who will decide who his vice president is.
And have you talked
and I trust him to pick the person
since the dog story emerged recently?
Yes, I talk to Donald Trump often, absolutely. And I will tell you one thing, is that he needs somebody who will help him win. And I have told him that I have supported him from the very beginning. He knows that I just want him to win and that I'll do whatever I can to help.
If you were writing the book today, would you include the dog story?
You know, this is a wonderful book. Did you read the book?
Not yet.
Oh, you should. The first chapter.
But the question stands.
The whole first chapter.
If you were writing it today,
yes, I'm
would
proud
you
of this
include
book.
the dog story?
I'm proud of this book.
Do you still think that you are in line to be Trump's vice president?
No, it's up to Donald Trump. He's the only person who will decide this. He's the only person who will decide. And yes, I do speak to him.
May I ask what he said to you about being vice president?
I never tell anybody my personal conversations with
Did the dog story
President
come up
Trump.
in your conversation with Trump?
I talk to President Trump all the time.
About the dog?
About a lot of things.
Did you bring up the dog?
Yes, enough,
with Trump?
Stuart.
With Trump. Did you
this
bring
interview
up the dog
is
with Trump?
Ridiculous what you were doing right now.
So
you need to stop. It is.
Okay.
It is.
We'll
Let's talk about some real topics that Americans care about.
I'm afraid we're out of time.
Oh, well, of course we are.
We do thank you for being with us.
Right.
I know I pressed hard, but that's what people are talking about to this day.
Yeah.
Governor Noem, thanks for joining us.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
You bet.
Have you heard the audiobook?
When I got back into my truck, Cricket was sitting in the passenger seat, looking like she had just won the lottery, the picture of pure joy. I hated that dog. As I drove home, I realized that I had no choice. Cricket was untrainable, and after trying to bite me, dangerous to anybody that she came in contact with. A dog who bites is dangerous and unpredictable. Are you listening, Joe Biden? I stopped the truck in the middle of the yard. I got out my gun, grabbed Cricket's leash, and I led her out into the pasture and down into the gravel pit. It was not a pleasant job, but it had to be done. My uncle, who was the general contractor building our house, called me and he said, "What got into you today?" "Nothing," I responded. "Why?" He said, "Well, the guy said you came barreling into the yard with your truck, you slammed the door, took a gun and a dog over the hill out of sight. They heard one shot, you came back without the dog. Then you grabbed the goat and headed back up over the hill. Then they heard another shot. You came back, slammed the pickup door again, went back. They heard another shot, and then you came back without the goat. They said they hurried back to work before you decided they were next."
As with any book tour, Governor Noem did a lot of talking over the past few days as she drums up publicity for her book and vies for a spot as Donald Trump's presidential running mate. Some of those comments caught our attention. For instance, on several shows, Noem repeatedly touted her experience.
Oh, I think you need to remember, Margaret, and everybody needs to remember that I've worked on ag policy and federal policy for over 30 years. My time in serving and making policies in this country has been extensive and covered decades. You know, I've traveled for years. I've been involved in policy for almost 30 years.
If Noem is 52 years old, that means she was 22 when she was, in her words, shaping policy, she told Fox News. Noem's political career began 17 years ago when she was elected as a state lawmaker in Pierre. She hit the national stage 13 years ago when she won a seat in Congress.
We're going to continue to talk about that and work real hard to cover the state to make sure that people know who I am and why I'm running.
In a story about meeting North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un that was deleted from the book after doubts about its validity, Noem also claimed to be a children's pastor.
I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. I've been a children's pastor after all.
In the vast majority of instances, a pastor is someone who is ordained or who has gone to divinity or Bible school. The book tour appears to be over more quickly than originally planned. A scheduled appearance on CNN was, in their words, abruptly canceled last night. Fox also reports Noem has canceled an appearance on that network.